from the BBC News at 10. It's time now for the news teams where you are. Good night.
Thank you, Sophie. I'm John Cathill. You're watching South Today. The number of no-fault evictions where a landlord can force a tenant out of their property even if they've done nothing wrong is on the rise. Also known as a Section 21, between July and September this year, there's been a 38% increase. Jo Palmer reports.
The court case is coming up very soon.
Christy works full-time and has privately rented for 3 years. In June, she was given a Section 21 notice. By law, this means her landlord can ask her to leave without giving an explanation. It's called a no-fault eviction. But finding somewhere else to rent near Petersfield has proved impossible.
I've gone to view properties that have come online the day before, called up the next day, and they're fully booked. You know, it's just, there's no in. And then I felt like when I did get an in, when I did get a viewing, automatically it was like they said, no, it won't be for her.
Why do you think they said that?
I think because I'm a single parent.
It's a really serious issue. 1 in 10 private renters are now at risk of losing their homes. That equates to 814,000 adults, and that figure rises to 1.1 million at an estimate if you include children as well.
Many landlords are pursuing no-fault evictions because of increases to interest rates on their buy-to-let mortgages.
They've gone from a very, very low interest rate to double, sometimes trebled. So I know a few landlords that are actually topping up, the monthly payment for their mortgage for the people living in there. And so when it costs the landlord for someone to live in their property, it's not a good investment.
Section 21s will eventually be abolished, but not yet. The National Residential Landlords Association believe the no-fault element can sometimes be useful to tenants.
In many cases, it also supports a tenant that might have rent arrears and have debt built up. And by using a Section 21, you're not allocating debt and negativity towards that person moving forward. So when they get a new tenancy, they won't have that negative non-payment of rent set against their name.
Christy has always paid her rent. She continues to do everything she can and is in regular contact with her local authority.
It's horrendous. It's horrendous. I feel like I'm failing my children, and that's really hard.
The company building a long-delayed fleet of trains for South Western Railway has put more than 1,300 jobs at risk. Alstom is building the Arterio trains in Derby, but it has no confirmed workload once the order for 90 trains is complete next spring. The trains were due in service on routes in Berkshire 4 years ago, but have not yet carried a single passenger. Homes and businesses on the Isle of Wight affected by recent floods can now apply for financial help. Government-funded support is available through the council, including a £500 grant to homes that suffered internal damage or for people unable to live in their property as a direct result of Storm Babbitt last month. Businesses affected are eligible for up to £500. Now, the difference of a healthy diet, which makes being studied by scientists from the University of Reading. A selection of people who can't usually afford fresh fruit and veg are being given vouchers to help with the cost. In return, they'll be studied to measure any impact of their dietary change, as Alan Sinclair reports.
When money's tight, those on the lowest incomes often opt for cheap, bulky foods like bread and pasta.
I don't want to be greedy.
Now, a scientific study is giving out vouchers, £10 every 2 weeks for a year, specifically to enable those involved to buy more fresh fruit and veg.
I couldn't afford to buy fruit and veg all the time, so coming here and being able to get that fruit and veg is a godsend.
We identified 150 households, so 2 or 3 streets locally, where there's a great need, and they've been given vouchers for the next 12 months. It's not about telling people what they should be eating. Everybody knows 5 fruit and veg a day is good for you. They know that, they just can't afford it. And this way we'll make that big difference, and we'll monitor with our colleagues at the university the impact on people's health.
And this is where experts hope to prove the difference good food makes to people's health. The University of Reading study's been funded by government.
We can look at things like polyphenols, which are often the colourful pigments in fruits and vegetables. We can look at sugars and salts. And then as we do the intervention with the food vouchers, hopefully we'll see that people are increasingly eating more fruit and vegetables and generally eating healthier.
All involved hope their findings will provide clear data and persuade policymakers and politicians to put more public money where their mouth is. Alan Sinclair, BBC South Today.
Now, finally, it's Children in Need this Friday, of course, but look at this. This is Tinker, a trained dog who helps Carmela around her house in Wiltshire, and the project is funded through BBC Children in Need. Look at here, brilliant. Right, time for the weather. Here's Alexis.
Hello, good evening. It's been a blustery day today, but lots of sunshine on offer. It is all changed tomorrow. And in fact, there is a Met Office rain warning in force from midnight tonight until 6 p.m. tomorrow for this area. Away from that, we could still see some heavy rain falling on already saturated ground. So we start the night with a fairly quiet night initially. Then we start to see the rain start to push in, and that could be quite heavy and persistent. Temperatures tonight will range between 4 and also 9 Celsius. So tomorrow morning, many of us waking up to some heavy torrential rain in places. That will start to ease its way eastwards. Once it does, we'll still see some further lighter and patchier rain through the afternoon. Cloudier skies the further west you are, and temperatures tomorrow will peak at between 7 and 11 Celsius. The winds brisk, but not as strong as they have been on recent days. Friday's a mainly dry day. We'll see some sunny spells during the course of the day. This next weather system starts to push in as we head through Friday evening, and that arrives through Saturday, so the weekend is unsettled with rain or showers.
And that's your lot from me for now. Tom Hepworth with you for breakfast tomorrow. Enjoy your night, won't you? Bye-bye.